Welcome to the Hope is Not a Plane podcast, where we address tough questions head on, face our problems, and highlight our hopes by providing actionable planning steps to improve ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. Now, let's get logged in and get locked on to this episode of the Hope is Not a Plane podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to 5 Minute Friday, number 8, 3 strategies to shatter planning silos. Remember, the previous episode was the antidote for the disease of siloed planning. We don't want to plan by ourselves. It's not safe. We're going to waste money and time and be out of scope and all that stuff we don't want to do. So I'm going to share in this 5 Minute Friday 3 ways that I have found that we can shatter these planning silos and get them out of the way and be more aligned and more efficient. The first thing is introduce yourself. It seems very basic, but sometimes folks are nervous to introduce themselves to people from other teams with other logos, from other organizations. And I've talked about the importance of being on video these days. If you're remote, be on video. Ask other people to be on video so you can see each other. Particularly, hey, this is a kickoff. This is our first time working together. I don't want to see a static picture. It doesn't build relationships. It's not good for that emotional connection that exists or should exist on projects. And in person, of course, be the one that goes up, hey, I'm Kevin Pinnell. I will be part of the team doing this thing or that thing, and you're shaking hands and that there's a huge value in that, huge value. And then listen to the other person and get to know them and how you're doing, where you're from, kind of some chit chat. So introducing yourself gets everything started. The second thing that I found immensely important and invaluable and helpful is to break bread. That means eat lunch together, meet for breakfast or coffee, after hours setup time where you don't have to talk just about shop or the projects, budget to get food for the people when you're together. And that's, this kind of taboo thing these days. Everybody's trying to save money, but there's enough money for sandwiches. Let's be honest. Breaking bread, having a beverage together, whatever kind of beverage you choose, will and has, that I have seen, create bonds. Bonds that then carried into a special event plan, a program, portfolio management, a response. You've shared time talking about just life with people, and you've enjoyed meals, and you see their preferences, and you get the nuances of the human. Breaking bread is it's a time-honored tradition, and it should be part of how we can break down planning silos. The third thing is, and it's the least fun of all of the other two, which is just 2, I guess, we've introduced ourselves, we're going to break bread, take on those unwanted tasks. The example I'm using is I was fortunate to be part of the planning team and coordinate a vice presidential debate a few years ago, all the public safety aspects. And a thing we did to help make a bridge and break down a silo between us and a very big agency was we made copies. Yes, we used to make copies of things, paper things. And we said, oh, you need copies of that? We know where the copier is. We'll go do that for you. And it was like 11:30 at night. But you know what? We knew we needed this organization. They were critical to the safety of everyone, and it worked. And then they started working with us more and more. And I've talked about this in previous examples here and in real life. Sometimes people just need food or the bathroom. We went to a real big fire when I was in emergency management and said, hey, how can we help? Oh, we'll track your people on a board for safety, and we'll get them a bunch of pizzas, and we'll bring porta-johns because they've been here for 11 hours fighting this giant fire. And we're going to have more people coming in. And so these are simple things. These aren't some extravagant plan. These aren't some big, we've got to work and go back to this step in the process. No. What do you need? We will get it for you. And you start chipping away at the bottom of the silo, get some of those old bricks out there, some of that resistance. And eventually they will knock their own silo down that they're in. And now you're just in a big open field of collaboration. And it's awesome. And I get excited about it because if we're just human and introduce ourselves, we take time to break bread, having lunch together, because you all have had lunch at events and people go to their own groups. Well, don't do that. Group together, meet after hours, have a beer together, and then take on those unwanted tasks. Fill out that spreadsheet, make the copies, do whatever it is that is going to help that other team or organization that's resistant, and then they won't be as resistant. Thank you all for not resisting listening to the Hope is Not a Plane podcast. I appreciate every second that you listen. If you appreciate it, please go to hopesnotaplane.com, follow the website when I do posts, and on Apple and Spotify. Be great if you left a review or just share the show with somebody that you think this could help. If you're having challenges, with other folks, with my plan and your plan and multiple plans and tracking things. Make sure you know each other, break bread together, take on the unwanted tasks for the good of everybody involved. Thank you so much. Stay safe out there, everybody. Wash those hands. And I wish you all Godspeed.